My name is Carrie Kraus, and I will be doing the webinar on galvanizing. If you have any questions about this webinar, please contact your support representative. Design Data has been working closely with the AGA over the last 3 years to implement galvanizing into SDS2 to make the galvanizing process safer and to help reduce overall costs. This is still a work in progress, but has come a long ways in the short 3 years of development. We are going to be taking a look at the current position of development thus far. The setup for galvanizing is located under the Fabricator Options. Galvanizing Options. Under the General tab are the kettle defaults. These values use the primary units on the job. The length, width, and depth can be specified here and will be used later when using the Aga Check Tool. Next is the crane capacity, which is in pounds. This will also be used later in the check tool. There's an option to allow for progressive dipping. If this is checked on, then you can specify the maximum length. This is for members that are larger than the kettle and require to be dipped one half and then the other. The Connections tab is where the bolt finish can be set, either to mechanically or hot dip galvanized. Next is a checkbox to automatically break apart galvanized members. This option allows material that is not welded to a member in the model to be broken off of the member and still be associated with the member. This does not make the member graphical or user and still allows for connection design and calculations. This allows for members to be broken apart, to be galvanized, and easily put back together. When the box is checked and galvanized is selected in the member edit window, the break apart will automatically get checked as well. So inside of modeling here on my horizontal brace, when I mark it to be galvanized, it automatically checks the break apart. So now the member is still together, but it has separate marks. So here we have a M61, so it can be put back as one piece after galvanizing. Then we have our default surface finish. This can be set to galvanized or duplex coating. This can also be changed in the model on a member by member basis. So if we edit the material of this member, since it is marked for galvanized, it does say surface finish galvanized. I can also change it to duplex coated if needed. Next we have our default vent drain hole diameter and the default vent drain hole plug type. Default is set to no plug, but you can also set it to zinc plug, plug weld, aluminum, or epoxy. On rail, the plug type can be changed in the modeling, and plug type for base plates can be changed by editing the hole. We have the option to add galvanized duplex coating label to remarks column in the bill of material and add no chromate quench note to detail for duplex coated members. So when the member is detailed, we have a member here that is galvanized. So when we look at the bill of material in the remarks column, we have a galvanized note. And we have a member here that is duplex coating. So we have a galvanizer note, no quench, duplex coated. And if we look at the bill of material on this member, under remarks we have galvanized, duplex coated. That is it for galvanizing options. Inside of the plate definition schedule, now under the More button, there is a drain vent hole option. There are currently 7 patterns for pipe, 4 patterns for the HSS tube, and 2 for wide flange. There can only be 1 pattern per plate. After you select the pattern, there are plate settings and a place to select or type in the section size. When the section size is selected, the properties are displayed, which allows for the proper amount of vent drain to be designed. Inside of the model, when we edit a member, there is now the Galvanized checkbox. When this box is checked, the member gets marked for processing. The Process and Create Solids applies the galvanizing setup and properties to the member and material. We also have automated handrail vents and drains. So inside of this handrail, it is marked galvanized, and we have galvanized vents. So when a handrail is added to the 3D model and is marked as galvanized, SDS2 automatically adds all the required vent and drain holes per the AGA's design guide for galvanized steel structures. Both internally and externally venting are options. So we see here for the post we have internal, external. And if we take a look at this handrail, we can see that the plugs, the vent drain holes are located in here. Galvanizing is also included now in special masking options. So when going to detail members, we can go to the Hide option, and under Category and Miscellaneous, we have a checkbox to hide galvanized members. There are also custom properties for galvanizing. So when editing a member, and then go to the Properties, underneath the Fabricator tab, there is a Sent to Galvanizer, Galvanized Date, and Receive from Galvanizer option. Custom Selection now also contains galvanized and duplex coated. Status display can be used to show which members are marked as galvanized. And this would be located under Modify Condition, Member Status, and Galvanized. Okay, so that would let you know which members in the model are marked as galvanized and which ones are not. And that leads us to the check tool. Over here we have the Aga Check Tool. Now when you select the Aga Check Tool, it's going to ask you to locate members to run check on. You can select everything. This will only look at the members that are marked as galvanized and only check those. Inside the check tool, you can run as many checks at one time as needed. The check tool refers back to setup and has the ability to check members marked as galvanized for the kettle tank fit, conflicting material thickness, proper vents and drains, proper use of galvanized fasteners, the kettle crane capacity, proper use of seal and stagger welds, and ungalvanized material. Proper use of seal and stagger welds and ungalvanized material thickness are still under development, and as of now only report a general message. So for example, if we run a check for kettle tank fit, it will give an output request summary and let you know which ones pass kettle tank fit, and if there were members that do not, it would also come up with that as well. I'm going to run the rest of the checks here. And it puts it all into one large output request summary. So here's the general message here that comes up. We have the C18 contains material that if welded together may cause warping. So it's just a general message there. Also the general message, it is not seal welded. It will let you know when you have a base plate that has no holes or no vent drain holes. If the member passes the crane capacity, and if a member is connected to non-galvanized members. Also inside the check tool, you'll see that there are 3 links down at the bottom. These links take you to online guides. For example here, this one will take you to the American Galvanizers Association website. And this just lets you know what the guidelines are that are being followed when this check tool is being ran. And last here we have reports. From the main menu here, if we go to Browse, we go to the Fabricating folder, you'll notice that we have 2 here up at the top. Detailed Galvanizing Report. The member actually has to be detailed before this report can be ran. And then we have Galvanizing Report. If we run that, it just looks at all the galvanized members, and it will give you the sequence, quantity, piece mark, section size, the length, the weight, and the surface finish. And then the totals at the bottom. And if you run the field bolt summary, it breaks the bolts apart by the finish. So here on the first page I have a finish of black, And the second page has the hot dipped galvanized. And that concludes the galvanizing enhancements thus far. Thank you for attending.